Hey guys, Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerSchool.com and DougRuckerStore.com. And by the way, our store is located right here in the Houston, Texas area. We are your Houston, Texas pressure washing and soft washing supply store. We're in Porter, Texas, right outside of Kingwood, Humble area. So if you're ever in the area, please stop in, even just to say hello. But today, I wanted to get into talking a little bit about setting your customer expectations. Seems this week, it always happens, I get quite a few texts or emails about the same subject. It's just kind of weird. But I had a few this week about certain stains and not getting full removal, things of that nature. So just wanted to kind of go over that and talk about setting the customer expectations. So got that coming up next. Okay, I'm not usually much of a storyteller on my videos. I try to get right to the point and get you the information I feel like is important. But I do want to tell one. Years ago when we lived in Clearwater, Florida, we had a home that had carpeted floors, and one night we ended up seeing what was under the carpet, and lo and behold, it was some beautiful wood floors. Why somebody carpeted it over it, I have no clue. But maybe one of the reasons was we noticed that there were a few rings where plants had set. Anyway, there were circular rings, and we think it was caused by water damage. So we were going on vacation and decided to have a wood guy come in and redo the floors, sand them down, re-varnish, re-stain them, clear coat them, whatever it was. And I asked him about those circle stains, and he said, you know, I don't know until I get into it. All I can do is try my best. We have no idea how deep those stains are, but what I try to do is under promise and over deliver. And so sure enough, when we got back, those stains were completely gone. We were expecting them not to be, because he had set our expectations that there's a possibility that they may not be totally removed. So I learned a valuable big lesson there in my business. This was probably 20, 25 years ago. And it kind of stuck with me in the exterior cleaning business, because I thought the same thing. There's a lot of times where we have stains that, you know, we just don't know how deep they are. We don't know if there's any damage underneath those stains, depending on how long they've been there. We deal a lot with algae and mildew type stains, organic growth. And so it's important to understand that that algae and that growth, it acts like a sponge. So it holds moisture, and that moisture can damage underneath that algae, so that when you remove the algae, there could be damage. There could be loss of color in brick. There could be some striping. It could have just, you know, sucked the paint off of the surface, so then you end up seeing the bare surface. So it's important to set your customer expectations, and I usually always let them know, both in verbal and also in writing in the quote, that while we can remove all the organic stains, we don't necessarily know if there's any underlying damage there that may be revealed. So we can't be held responsible if it doesn't look exactly perfect once we're done. And this really is a result, and we're trying to say this in a nice way, this is really a result of not properly maintaining the exterior of your home or building or the surface or whatever. So you need to try to come up with something in writing that explains that, so it can help alleviate any callback type things or whatever. And what you're doing is you're setting that customer's expectations. Okay, we can get all the organic stains off, but we don't know what's underlying there. Okay, and so what happens is whenever you set the customer expectation and let them know the possibility that something could happen or something could be this way, when you're done, they accept it. They understand. They're more willing to accept it or whatever. It's when you have to try to explain something after you've done it, that's when they tend to think, I don't know, this is kind of a sales pitch, or he's just making this up as he goes along. So very important to set your customer expectations, not only when you're dealing with algae on exterior homes, also commercial buildings. You know, brick surfaces can have sometimes a lot of black algae on it, and I've seen a few homes where after we cleaned, it was lighter and behind those streaks. Same thing with EFS. A lot of times under windows, you get those little teardrop marks, and while you can get some of that black stuff off, it may have eaten down to the bare surface. So it's starting to rain here. Beautiful. So it's very important to understand that when that algae acts like a sponge and holds that moisture, there's no telling what kind of damage could be done underneath there. Just always remember, all that bleach mix is doing when it's strong enough is it's changing the color of that algae. And then if it's on a colored background, you're still going to see it, but it's just going to be white, and you've got to lightly pressure wash it off. So once you've done that, that's where the damage can be revealed. I heard somebody years ago tell me it's kind of like cancer. The doctor didn't cause the cancer, he just revealed the cancer, or whatever the sickness may be. Okay, so a few things. It's very important to make sure that you're taking before and after pictures on every job, especially anything that you think may have issues like what I'm talking about. It also is very important to take pictures of any pre-existing damage. So, you know, graffiti, you could have shadows left behind depending on what type of paint was used, depending on how long the paint has been there, depending on the surface that the paint is on. So you want to make sure you're communicating in writing and verbally any pre-existing damage in areas that you may suspect could have issues. That's very, very important. I usually will always ask if I detect it or see it, and sometimes even if I don't, I'll always ask if somebody tried cleaning this before, because the use of whatever products they use could have caused damage, and so now you're coming in to try to correct it. And so you really have to either one of two things: make sure you alleviate yourself of any responsibility of any possible damage after, again, you've removed the stains, or just walk away. It may not be worth taking on that responsibility. So you really just have to say, hey, we can only do the best we can with the equipment that we have and the cleaning products that we have, which are safe to use, without damaging the surface. And that's the key. So we're going to softly clean this. We're going to gently rinse it. We're going to try to remove the stains as best we can without damaging your surface. So keep all that in mind. Be sure to set your expectations. I'm making a longer video for my online video school about this, but I just did want to come on YouTube and kind of help you guys out a little bit too. So I hope that helps you guys. If you have any questions, be sure to just leave a question down there for me. Also like to see your comments if it's helpful to you. And subscribe to the channel if you're getting valuable information out of it. Hit that subscribe button and then hit that little bell so that you get notifications when I come out with things like this. So always set your customer expectations beforehand, both verbally and in writing. That's very, very important. And I've always told customers sometimes, you know, this is not a magic wand, it's a cleaning wand. And so a lot of things we can get 100% perfect, but based on prior maintenance of the surface is a lot of times going to dictate how well we can remove stains or clean a surface. So everybody have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hi to my pressure washing friends. I'm Kathy, I'm Doug's wife, and when you call into the store, I'm probably going to be the one that answers, or if you send emails, sometimes I'll be the one that responds to those as well. I handle lots of administrative tasks, and my biggest job though is keeping Doug in line. So just so you know, y'all can be my cheerleader for that as the days go by.